Welcome back, college baseball fans, to another episode of the College Baseball Show, brought to you by Just Baseball Media and 6'4 Analytics. I'm your host, Mark Garland. I got three of my favorite guys here joining us again here as we break down Super Regionals and jump into the College World Series preview. Starting off with my guy, Jared Perkins. How we doing today, Jared?
Good, man. I'm ready to talk some baseball. Kind of crazy. We're at the College World Series. Feels like we were just ramping up for the season, and now here are wrapping things up.
It literally feels like we were just talking to 6 of these coaches in the preseason before we were at this point. Now we're already into the last 8 teams. It's insane. Will Massa, how we doing, buddy?
Fantastic. That was an excellent shameless plug, by the way. Me and Jared, we got the matching hats going on, same wavelength, and we are 3 days out from Omaha. Cannot believe how fast this season went, but we have made it to the promised land.
I can't wait. Cannot wait. Folks, you're going to get to see myself and Jason Ratcliffe here from 6'4 Analytics. How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Am I good? Can you hear me? Okay, awesome. Yeah, doing good. I am quite literally attached to my phone and my computer right now. It's kind of a burden. But yeah, no, good times. I'm excited to take a break here in a couple of days. Softball did it right. All 99% of the ladies went in about like a 2-hour period between about midnight on the 8th to about 8 a.m. on the 9th. And now it's gotten a little bit slower. So right now it's just coaches calling, telling me, hey, we got this guy committed, or hey, I'm looking for an arm. I had one coach call me today that basically said, hey, I just need a bat. And I was like, Coach, I have like 6,000 names running through my head. Like, you got to give me something.
Be more specific.
Yeah. No, he's awesome. He's literally like, I'm watching 28 guys right now, like 2028. He's like, dude, like stuff's going crazy. I'm like, I get it. Like, I'll look into it tonight. Thanks, Canes. And yes, for those that don't know, he asked, can we talk about Issa Torres? So to try to put into perspective, this would be like if Landon Hairston portaled. Basically someone that is going to be like on a Golden Spikes watch is absolutely coming back the next year, is probably like the best player in one of the top leagues, and then portals. It happens actually quite a bit in softball. So because frankly, like their last couple of years is really when they're going to be their most profitable. Just because, they have the AUSL now, which is great. They have a professional league, but it's not going to compensate you like a Texas Tech billionaire would. So, but I will say I've heard from Issa Torres, if there are any softball folks listening, that Texas Longhorns may be more of a lean than Texas Tech, but let's get back into baseball. Apologies.
Hey, I love the softball side too, but man, portal's crazy, folks. We're going to talk a little bit about things about that side, which is the coaches. We got a new coach, South Carolina. Got their guy. We know it's a little bit of a weird one, and we're keep looking at it. We go, when are they going to hire Schnall? When are they going to hire Schnall? Well, they finally announced it, and it's been a thing. Jared, I've been very public. I'm not huge on this hire. I know a lot of people are on that thing. I know he got that team to the World Series last year, to the final. It wasn't necessarily his built team, though. Like, that was the team that he kind of took over, and then this year they had some struggles, and they really didn't perform well at the end of the year. Now, I know they had a lot of injuries. Is this the right fit for South Carolina?
I mean, I guess. Like, Will and I were talking about it, and it seems like no one else really wanted the job. I think that's part of the problem. So Kevin Schnall is almost kind of the automatic fit, but it's just like I don't know. There's been talks even last year or a couple of years ago when they hired Paul Maneri. There was talks about like Kevin Schnall being the guy in the future. And so I think it's a good fit. Like, he's done really well at Coastal Carolina. Again, we talked about the struggles this year. They kind of underwhelming expectations, but they also lost like an entire rotation. They had lost Hayden Johnson this year. They didn't have Cam Fluke for most of the year. So like a lot, and then they lost their closer at Dominic Carbone as well. So it's just like, part of that is like, okay, great. They didn't perform up to expectations, but when you lose two-thirds of your rotation, then you still pull off the kind of season that they did. I think you have to give some credit to the coaching staff, especially Matt Williams on the pitching side. Like, he's been able to do some crazy things with arms coming out of Coastal Carolina, and he's following Schnall over to South Carolina. So I don't hate the hire. I don't think it's a terrible hire for South Carolina. Do I think there might have been better options out there? Sure, but like talked about Scott Forbes being a candidate. There was no way he was leaving North Carolina.
Zero
Like
chance.
he's a
No chance.
Tar Heel for life. Like Steve Saban's another one. Like I think he just loves West Virginia, and I don't know what the interest of the job was there. But still, like I think it's a little bit of a struggle to figure out like who else would have been the name.
Yeah, I mean we argued about it, like not argued, but we talked about it a lot on the off air and trying to figure out. And Will, there wasn't a huge list of guys that really fit the bill for the South Carolina job. Like it's not what it was in 2015, where you're like, hey, this is the job in college baseball. It wasn't anymore. I mean, yes, they have resources, but there's other places that have resources now.
Yeah, it's fascinating that we've talked about this job as, I don't want to say undesirable, but it felt like the last couple of weeks that's almost like the vibe it was giving. Again, like what Jared said, him and I were talking about it earlier today, and it was almost like, does anybody want the job? And if the rumors that come out that like they were trying to, kind of chase their tails a little bit with the Scott Forbes of the world, or maybe Steve Saban's who's still in the field, and they were just kind of waiting to see if they could get any bites from coaches that were maybe still in play. Like maybe that was the case, but you would have thought if Schnall was the guy, they would have done it 2 weeks ago. Like we talked about, like look at what Mississippi State did with O'Connor, right? Season ends, you bring that guy in the next day and he's hitting the ground running recruiting. And not that he's lost that much time, because, I mean, at the end of the day, the kids who have committed are still likely to pick the LSUs of the world over South Carolina, but you still lost out on 2 weeks of potential recruiting. So I really like the hire personally. Like, I think you look at what Schnall has been a part of. I know he wasn't the head coach, but he was under Gilmore for the last 10 years. And then even before that with Gilmore. So he's been around a really good program. He's been around a national title. He's been around 2 national championship runs. So I'm a huge fan of the hire. Love Matt Williams. I'm happy that he's back in the building. I know, wasn't great the first time he was around, but I really like that he brought him with him. I think they're going to do really good things over there. I think it's a good page to turn for South Carolina to start getting back to what they were.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different guy, a little bit rougher on the edges, I guess you could say. Schnall being there, and maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need a little bit of the hard nose and a little hard edge there. Jason, talking about it now, portal being open, they're a couple weeks behind, like at least a week plus. Does that change anything for them? Should when you look at hiring people, should they be doing these hires before June 1st if they can?
So I'm going to answer your question before I answer it. I need to will it up a little bit and throw some wet blanket on some of these comments. Do you all not remember South Carolina, like maybe a decade ago, when they were like on the precipice of three-peating?
That's what I said. It was a desirable job 10 years ago.
It's a desirable job now. Like, hear me out. Like, yes, I get they had Paul Maneri that came in. I think, the Paul Maneri, obviously, they're good friends with the AD. AD used to be the head coach. Like there's a lot of things that kind of like moved in that direction. But this is going to be one of the most well-compensated jobs. They've produced a lot of talent over the years. They have a pretty good NIL within the company. So this is going to be a top, I would say, easily top 10 job in baseball. And so that's why I feel like it's very hard for, it was hard for Schnall to say no, because even though he was making $1 million at Coastal, I think they bumped him up to $1 million last year.
Yeah, it was like 750 plus bonuses, I think.
Yeah. But you're just not really going to get a ton of options like this. So I think I have no idea what took them so long, honestly. But to answer your question, when it comes to the portal, the nice thing is like, yeah, they're a little bit behind, but it's been a little slow moving at the beginning. And also there are now like 16 or 17 Coastal kids in the portal, and half of them have a do not contact tag. And I know exactly what that means. That means like I like Hayden Johnson's
they know
already
where they're going.
Yeah, he's already committed to South Carolina.
A couple others already did too. I just saw them
really?
just recently. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't honestly, like that's why they did it. So I know E-Step, like he's probably going to commit. He's already committed. Like he's on ChatGPT right now, like changing his jersey. Like I think they'll be fine. I had one of their coaches reach out to me, basically say like, who's the best shortstop and outfielder in the portal right now? I was like, well, these two guys. And so I've already talked to their like coaching staff a little bit about like, and they're ready to hit the ground with the portal. But I feel bad for Coastal because on the flip side of that is I think you're kind of pigeon-tailed into bringing in just an assistant. Who's the recruiting coordinator? He's the
Chad
coach in waiting,
Octagon.
Ox. Yeah, is it
Yeah.
Ox? Yeah. I don't see how you go another direction, honestly, right now. I mean, you could try to do a coaching search and all these things, but at that point, you're going to be a month into the portal, and I think you're kind of going to be screwed a little bit. And you also have to try to retain some of these guys from Coastal, because I don't think South Carolina just wants to become, the South Carolina Chanticleers, because for better or worse, like Coastal wasn't phenomenal this year. So I don't think, that's really what South Carolina wants to replicate. So, I mean, I think they're going to have to, just for like a consistency and just trying to make sure that they don't fall too far behind. Because otherwise I think it'll be a little bit difficult.
So let's talk real quick here before we get into finishing up about the Supers and getting into the World Series. Let's talk about the Chanticleer job. Let's talk about this Coastal job now. It's open. It's a good job. There's money behind that program. There's success there. I know that there's a lot of coaches being thrown around. Chris Lemonis is out there. I'm going to say my piece. If it's me and I'm the AD at Coastal, I'm hiring Sean Thompson from VCU tomorrow. I know that it's a short stint of what he's been able to do, but his success rate's high. He's a young coach. He's going to get after it. For me, I'm going to hire that kind of guy to come in there and take what's already been the great resources in that program. I know they're probably not going to do that, but that's the guy I would go with. Will, you look at this. There's a lot of freaking options out there. I know Lemonis is probably the front runner. At least that's what's being said. I don't know if that's who they've contacted yet, but there's a lot of assistant coaches out there that would be really good at this job as well.
Yeah, I think to Jason's point, it's tough to fill that job knowing that Schnall is taking Williams with him, because initially when we were talking about Schnall, I mean, we all kind of assumed that Williams would go with, but there was a part that was like, well, if he doesn't, you're probably going to go with Williams. Mm-hmm. So you do put yourself in kind of this tough spot. I think they're going to just open it up nationally. Like I personally think, and I get it with the calendar and the portal, I think they would be silly not to at least entertain it. As for like good fits, like I really like that Sean Thompson take, but I think when you look at it like nationally, there's going to be a decent amount of guys, right? We've already seen some coaches swap that we knew weren't like quote unquote on the market. So I wouldn't be surprised, to kind of the flip side, like this is also an extremely desirable job. I mean, a national title in the last 10 years, a runner-up and a national title in the last 10 years. An awesome home environment. Like that's a great job. Like that, for more or less, that's a P5 job. So I'd be surprised if they just kind of went the internal route, but I really think they're going to open this thing up.
Yeah.
Mark.
I mean, it's a weird one. Yeah.
Oh, it was Mark. I was going to say, on your point on VCU, what about a former VCU coach that went to be head coach of Liberty, Bradley LaCroix? Like, I feel like
I'd be all about that level too. I mean, he's a tremendous coach. Look what Liberty's been able to do. Look what they did in the tournament.
Yeah,
Georgia.
40 wins team this year.
It just feels though that they're going to go a bigger hire. I mean, Jason, you got to have a feeling that they're at least going to go. They're going to try to get a big hire, a big name in there after being in the championship last season.
Yeah, I think Lemonis would be a big name. Honestly, I'm a big fan of the younger assistants. If you're a Wiener or a Kane, even like a Hobbs. I know everyone says that Hobbs is the coach in waiting for Arkansas, but it's kind of one of the things. It's like, do you wait for DVH to hang it up? Like, do you see a job like this where you can kind in and go in and make it your own? Like, I don't know. I feel like there's a number of assistants out there that could kind of like jump on a job like this, because what we just talked about, there may be, I don't know, 15 jobs that are going to pay you $750,000 or more. And so when one of these opens up, you kind of just have to like take it and when an opportunity comes. So I think you're going to have a lot of suitors for this. And I think the nice thing is a lot of these individuals have already interviewed at a number of these other jobs, like for Houston and like for South Carolina. And so I think they can move quickly if they make it in a national job, but I think they're going to have to make it really quick. So I would anticipate they'd have to have something here in the next 2 weeks. I think if you're waiting till after Omaha, I think you're screwed. I think
Especially
you're
when
going to
so
make
many
it.
players have already entered the portal, right? You've already lost so many
Yeah.
of your team. You need to go
Yeah.
out there. You're going to have to recruit. You have to go get some of these recruits. You have to get some guys in right now. It's a crazy interesting spot, especially at this time. I mean, it
Yeah.
kind of hurt them that this is the timing for them. Now they got to go out and get a guy. Jared,
And it's just
oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, to Spencer's point, like Wiener will be a head coach at some point, and
Yeah.
I struggle a little bit with it because he's young. Like, I don't know his age. I think he's in his middle 30s, younger 30s. He's a young guy, and I'm not saying like that's a something that can't be done, but I do think there's a big difference between kind of, you know, being a very finely tuned assistant who just does like, hey, like go in there and make sure the pitchers like can, and then just being like a general manager coach who's overseeing everything. There's just a difference in that. So I Wiener is a great, like for anyone who's met him in person, just incredibly charismatic, very kind, will look you like straight in the eyes when he's talking to you. So I do think he'll be a great coach someday, but I just feel like this may be quick for him.
The thing is, a D1 baseball job is the head coach is more like a CEO than a coach at this point. Like you have to run a whole program. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes behind it that's not just out there coaching the X's and O's. Jared, there's a lot of people out there. Is this job better than some Power 4 jobs?
I'd say so. I mean, yeah, you look at some of the schools in the Big
Money-wise.
Ten. Yeah, like you would rather have Coastal's job than some of the schools probably in the Big Ten. Like Ohio State, I think of a program like that, like funding-wise, I don't know if they have the same kind of funding that a Coastal would have in terms of resources. Maybe they do now with Justin Ayer. But it's just like one of those things. It's even in Big 12 play, like at the bottom of the Big 12, like would you rather have the Coastal job? Like Coastal invests into their program, so it's not like they don't do that. And they're not like some of the other Sun Belt teams that are near the bottom of the Sun Belt. So I feel like this will be a desirable job, and I think Will's right. Like I think they should do a national search because they're going to have a lot of interest in this position.
It's got to be quick though. You got to be quick at this point.
Yeah,
now you got to go out
there. You got to get it
and
hired
go find
fast.
a guy, 'cause, yeah, and then they got to get their staff in. They got to get their recruiter. Like it's going to be happening really fast. It's going to snowball quickly. So whoever gets that job, contact Jason. Good to get a leg up on all that fun stuff there. Let's talk about some of these super matchups that turned into the Omaha matchups. Troy beats Little Rock, huge for them. That place was rocking. Skylar Mead said, hey, they're going to have to take me out in handcuffs. I know we showed that clip a lot when he came on and talked to us. Said that they're going to take me out because of too many people in this ballpark. The bouncy house in left center being just berated by home run balls was fantastic. It was I loved every second of that. West Virginia takes care of business and takes down Cal Poly. I'm going to start with you, Jared, on this. What are your feelings on those two matching up? One of them is going to get their first ever win in Omaha, which is fantastic for the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you love when you see two teams that haven't been to Omaha before get there. Like this is the best kind of stuff. And you look at like Troy and West Virginia, they kind of cakewalked their way into Omaha. Like Little Rock and Cal Poly really didn't give them any fits when they got there. So it's like they didn't have to like burn their entire staff. Like they're going to be very well rested going into Omaha. And I'm excited to see what this first matchup kind of turns out to. I think West Virginia probably has the upper hand here, right? If Max Heel is on the mound, but we've seen him struggle in terms of like getting booted and like the not even going out for an inning. So like that Troy offense has been very good this year, and they could get to Max Heel pretty quickly. So I'm excited to see kind of how this turns out. I really, really love have the top tier bats for Troy with Stephen Meyer, Jimmy Janicki, and Aaron Pieski. Terrible with names, but like all those guys, Blake Cavill's been on fire now too. Josh Pine, like this is gonna be a fun team. And then you have Jay Boruff, who was hitting like 185 going into the playoffs, and now he's hitting 264 because he had like an insane OPS. Has hit like 7 home runs. Like this team's just fun offensively. I'm excited to see what they can do.
Yeah, it really is a fun team, and it's a good matchup. And Jason, we're going to be there. The wind's not supposed to be blowing in. Now, that can always change.
Doesn't mean shit.
Not supposed to be blowing in early there. It's a big ballpark. But when it's blowing in, it's really big. When that wind is blowing 30 miles an hour straight in from center, it's really big. But I'm excited for this one. Jason, what are your thoughts here for this opening round matchup? We're going to see 1 o'clock.
Well, first off, Pat McAfee better be there launching jello shots from behind home plate. And if he's not, I'm going to be a little sad. I think you just have to lean West Virginia. Like, I love the Troy story. I think they're playing out of their mind. They've basically just been completely unblemished throughout this entire region. I mean, basically, since what they were like 500 midway through the season, they've just kind of been on an absolute tear. So I think you have to, like, you love the story of Troy, but I do think I'm just going to go back to the bread and butter of West Virginia. It's so hard to beat that Yale Corn combo. So if it's Yale and the first game of Omaha is the most important game of basically the entire tournament itself, because with the way that it's structured and how much time you can have off, if you are, I mean, basically you have to go back to Oregon State, and I think in 2018 when they lost to Mississippi State in game 1, it's so hard to come out of the losers bracket that because you have to have just a tremendous amount of pitching. And really maybe the only 2 schools that I feel like could do that, maybe even I think are all on the other side of the bracket. Maybe Ole Miss. Ole Miss could probably do it. They've got a lot of pitching depth. But I think both of these teams are going to know
North Carolina.
I think Carolina.
No. I'm I guess on this side of the bracket, no, for sure. But I mean, like even North Carolina, what do they pitch? Like five or six guys versus USC.
Mostly.
So I mean, it's not that they don't have the. It's just like it's generally like 6 or 7 guys, and so like, are you gonna pitch those 6 or 7 guys like 150 to 200 pitches in that 5-game set that you'd have to do, because you'd have to go 4-1. So that's just a really difficult thing to do. I mean, that's what Oregon State did, and they really rode a couple arms that year. But again, like long story short, that first game's so important. I think West Virginia is going to throw their bullets, and I think they'll win it. That'd be my guess.
It'll be very interesting. Will, it's a great matchup. 2 teams. One of them's going to get their first win. I mean, we had both coaches on, tremendous coaches, tremendous programs. We're happy for both these programs, but somebody's going to come out on top of this one. Where you got this one?
I believe it's West Virginia here. Am I crazy for thinking that there's a chance that Chance and Cole pitches and not Max Yell in this game? Is that a crazy?
I don't think he went game 1.
Chance and Cole.
He
went first game in last weekend.
He was disgusting.
I mean, I totally get throwing Yell there, but if you think that Cole can beat them, I think you go with Cole, and then you have Yell in presumably in game 2 against either the winner of Carolina and Ole Miss. Like if I'm West Virginia, that's kind of the direction. And honestly, the difference between the two has been so small this season. It's not. I wouldn't even consider it like quote unquote pitching off. Like the difference between the two is so small. It's almost like the difference like if Ole Miss were to throw Taylor Rabe or Cade Townsend rather than Hunter Elliott in game 1, like I wouldn't call it pitching off. It's just like you're going with someone else. So I think if I'm West Virginia, I probably would do that. And then you have Yell in game 2 if you win that one. I've said it before. I said it a couple weeks ago. If West Virginia gets here, I think they're going to be really dangerous because their offense just plays to the graveyard, right? Like especially like if you get the wind in. I know the ball can still fly there. Like last year, there was a couple of games where the wind was blowing straight out and balls were just flying out of the yard. Like when the wind gets it, it gets it. But this field can play really, really big. And if it's playing big on certain days, love West Virginia, right? They just do everything well. They put the ball in play. They find gaps. They don't rely on the home run. I think they only have like 60 as a team this year, if that. So I really like West Virginia. I think Troy, not that they've relied on the long ball, but they've used it a lot. Like a lot of their innings have come via the long ball in the postseason this far.
A lot of their crooked numbers.
Which obviously you need. Like that's the biggest thing that can happen in baseball. 3-run home run. It's the great equalizer. But if Troy can't get that against the West Virginia pitching going, if the wind's blowing in, whatever that might be, like those home runs off the bounce house are now flyouts on the warning track. Like that completely flips this game upside down. And the way that West Virginia's outfield can go get it defensively, guys like Paul Schoenfeld, like one of the best defensive center fielders in the country. I think you really like West Virginia's odds in game 1. But if I'm them, I'm probably looking at Chance and Cole to go game 1.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why I picked him as the number 2 most important transfer this year of the teams that left in Omaha. Chance and Cole's very, very important for this team. If he goes game 1, I think it sets them up great to be one of those teams that's sitting in the finals. So love this opening matchup here. Yes, either one of these teams wins, I will be down with them. Very excited for both of these teams. And if it's West Virginia, I will probably be crying. But yeah, Angela, if you're going to the games, we're gonna have to stop by and say hi. We'll be there.
Hell yeah.
Can't wait.
I mean,
Cannot wait.
again, like I'm not picking West Virginia because I don't think Troy can't win. I think it's more just it's just like a matchup thing. Like I think the thing with this year is I think anyone can win the whole thing. And I think one of the main reasons is because I think two of the best teams are playing each other game one. So it kind of makes it to where it's a little bit open.
Levels it out.
Yeah.
Let's move to the other side. The evening game on Friday. Ole Miss takes care of business and gets through their super regional. Unbelievable effort there to go out and beat Auburn. Like Auburn, again, now 0-4 in its last 4 super regional games, all at home. Tough one there. Plainsman Park has not been kind to them as of late. UNC comes all the way back after losing game 1. You know, if you would have told me that USC wins game 1 and Mason Edwards didn't throw well, I would have said you're crazy. I said there's no way, but they did. And UNC has to come all the way back, but a big thing for them. They look great. They come all the way back in the 9th inning also in that last game to win this thing. Guys, this is a very good matchup here. Will, I'll start with you since you went last on that last one. 2 very good teams here that are going to match up, and 2 programs are going to have Friday night aces going for us on that first game.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun pitching matchup. You have to assume it's Jason Akara, who looked unhittable in his
9
start.
innings.
Game in game 2 in a must-win game. And I think the thing that has been overlooked with North Carolina this year is I feel like the knock on them has been, the offense isn't that good. When you go look up and down that offense, it's been really solid this year. I mean, statistically, it's the 3rd best team remaining in terms of team OPS. Like Owen Hull has been fantastic for them. Jake Schaffner on both sides of the ball has been ridiculous for them. You have Cooper Nicholson who can leave the yard at any point in time. And then obviously the pitching, like you get DeCaro, you get Lynch, you get Caden Glauber, who's probably going to bump into a start at some point this week. And then you still have McDuffie out of the bullpen. So they match up a lot better than I think people are giving them credit for. I think they've always just been this pitching first, well-coached defensive team. They actually swing it pretty well this year. I think a lot better than what they've gotten credit for. Ole Miss on the flip side, obviously we know Udemark and Bissetta can literally leave any single field on any given day. So there's no doubt that those 2 are going to be in for a couple of long balls this week. But the Ole Miss pitching is really, really good. And I'm really curious to see who they throw game 1. I really am, because I genuinely have no idea who it's going to be. And you could go with Hunter Elliott because for whatever reason, this team just wins when he's on the mound. I know the stats aren't sexy. Like the stats aren't sexy, but like, dude, that they win behind him. Like,
but they win with them.
Yeah, he strikes out the world too.
Yeah, he does.
You can put that one in ink.
Yeah, he worked out of a lot of trouble in the Super Regional. I was actually a little bit concerned that game was going to slip away. He did a great job getting some double play balls. He worked out of some tight jams early on, and then you look at the bullpen. You have Walker Hooks, who's been just fantastic out of the bullpen.
Good.
So good. This Ole Miss team is also a lot more dangerous than what people are giving them credit for, quite frankly. And I think even us, to some degree, when they got into this thing, I know we liked them when they got the draw. But I think heading into the regional, we were like, they might make some noise. And all of a sudden, we're looking at them and you look up and down the bracket and you're like, Ole Miss might win this thing. They could come out of this side easily and they could find a way to win the whole thing. I mean, look at the 2022 run. That was a team that was essentially last 4 in and found a way to win the whole dang thing. So it's not like Bianco hasn't been there in this situation where they're not really the talked about team of the bunch. And I think that's really scary.
I mean,
and who was that freshman pitcher on that team?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, we're going to see Hunter Elliott again. I remember sitting there in the stands and just watching this young man pitch in that 2022, and I'm like, this is a freshman? There's no way this is a freshman. He's out there just lighting people up. And then he did it. I mean, now he's back. I'm excited for this Ole Miss team. Jason, we talked a lot about how this team had a lot of grit and how they had the hardest schedule imaginable. And now it's paid off. It's paid dividends. This team is hard-nosed. They know how to get through games. They've played really good baseball as of late. And I really like this team.
So I think this matchup is the winner of this matchup, I think, goes to the national championship. I think that's my prediction.
That's fair.
Ole Miss, they're going to pitch Elliott. They just have. And I get it. Like, everything says, like, hey, Townsend's been like, Rab's been phenomenal.
Rab, yeah.
They've always got Elliott. They're just kind of creatures of habit. They're going to keep doing it. I think it'll just come down to home runs for Ole Miss. That's it. Like, so the weather is actually going to be quite important for them. They don't really string a ton of hits together. They just mash the cover off the ball like 3 to 4 times a game. And so the question is, like, if they mash the cover off the ball, is it going to go to the warning track or is it going to go over the wall? And also, is there going to be a walk in front of them or maybe a single? Like, they're almost like a 3 true outcome kind of team. They either walk, strike out, or they hit a home run. Like a third of their team is like that. So I really like this Ole Miss team, but I think they need Bissetta, they need Udemark to kind of get those maybe 2 to 3 big swings within the kind of that regional setting, we'll call it that round robin this side of the group. So I like Ole Miss a lot. I don't know. I honestly like both of these teams. I think you have to. One thing you to like a little bit more about North Carolina is just the depth at which they can get, like the length they can get on their starting pitcher. Because Elliott's basically just been going like 4 to 5. He really hasn't been getting the depth at North Carolina. So if it feels like it's going to be a 2 to 4 type game, you kind of like the team that has a starting pitcher that can go a little bit longer. But I don't know. I think this is going to be one of the really marquee games of the weekend.
I love it. I think for me, when I look at this, I go, okay, I think across the top line, they're pretty equal with their starting pitching. They're pretty equal with their top players. I think it comes down to like a guy like a Will Furnace. How's a Will Furnace versus a Cooper Nicholson? Which one of those guys steps up big here this week and kind of does the thing here? Are we going to get the Will Furnace that we saw in the regionals where he was lights out and hitting everything in every single gap all over the place? Or are we going to see the guy during the season that struck out almost 30% of the time? I don't know. I'm excited for this one. Jared, what are your thoughts here? Ole Miss versus UNC.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about like pre-show or like right at the beginning, in Alabama not hitting on any of their transfer portals. Like North Carolina hit on like all their transfers.
6 of 7 guys are in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, your top 4 hitters are all transfer hitters. Owen Hull, Jake Schaffner, Eric Paulson, Mac and Winslow. All those guys came through the portal and they absolutely mashed. I think Owen Hull is a guy that just does not get talked about enough. Dude's hitting 390 and has 81 RBIs for this team. At the beginning of the year, it was like DeCarlo's the number 1 draft prospect. But now you look at Owen Hull and Jake Schaffner and what they've done since they've come into the Tar Heel uniform. Like those are the top 2 guys for the MLB draft right now for North Carolina. And I would be shocked if like DeCaro or even Lynch went above those guys at this point. They've really increased their draft stock and they've just shown that they can play. And like Will, you kind of talked about West Virginia being built for this kind of environment, this stadium. I feel like this lineup too is built for this stadium. Like they're hit a ton of doubles. They find gaps. Like they have some big thumpers like Cooper Nicholson you mentioned, and like Gavin Gallagher has 12 home runs, but they're not like the guys who are going to hit 15 plus bombs on their team. And like that's what you want when you get to Omaha and that graveyard out there.
Yeah, I like this matchup. I think it's 2 tremendous teams that are going to go gap to gap. I think this whole side of the bracket can go gap to gap, and then you look at Troy, who lived on the long ball. So these other 3 teams really can play small ball a little bit more than Troy. And who knows, if the wind starts blowing out, though, that could favor the Trojans. I'm very excited for this one, living on the highs there. Let's talk about the Saturday matchups here. Day 2, Oklahoma and Alabama. Unbelievable matchup here for this one. Cannot wait for that one. It's going to be great. Oklahoma goes down and takes on Kansas and beats them in Lawrence, which was just a ridiculous place for the regional. I am unbelievable for the super regional. Oklahoma just took it to them. Let's be honest. They just took it to them for 2 straight days, beat them up. I mean, it ended up falling into a 3rd day because of rain delay, but it was Oklahoma's better team the entire time, all 18 innings there. And Alabama really looked the part. I mean, they were settled. They looked like they wanted to be the team they knew that they were going to get here. Really never gave St. John's a chance in those ball games. Jason, these are 2 very good SEC teams. We got 4 SEC teams on this side of the bracket, but Alabama, the seeding kind of got them there. Oklahoma has a team that I don't think anybody really picked to get through their bracket to get here.
So I'm currently eating a burrito from Chipotle, but for both of these teams, I have to be eating crow because I did not see either of these teams being here, frankly. Oklahoma has come on so strong at the end. And I was talking with someone in the program and basically saying, like, you guys have done something that I think not many teams would do. You looked at your weekend rotation like 3/4 of the way through the year and you said, this isn't working. We need to fix it. And not a lot of teams are going to do that. A lot of teams are going to say, like, hey, we're too late in the season. If we change things now, things are going to spiral. Like kids won't like it. Like da 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 da. They didn't. They said screw that, and they just did it. And I like this team. I'm confused on Alabama because you're right. Like their portal, but it's like their second year portal guys have a little bit like Neal and Torres.
Neal Torres.
Like, yeah. So like I like Faye a lot. Faye can get you 8 and keep you in a game. I think in order for Alabama to win this one, I think they're going to have to keep it low because Rager is on another island right now. He's been dominant his last like 4 or 5 starts. So I think it'll be hard for them to score off of Rager. I don't know who I like in this one, honestly. I think I like Oklahoma a little bit more than Alabama, as crazy as that sounds, because I was on the I'm jumping off the Oklahoma bandwagon, I want to say a month and a half ago. And I am currently running towards the train, trying to hop back on it, but it is still running away from me. So I don't feel that I am qualified to give a winner for this one. I just think it's a combination of 2 teams that kind of – I mean, Alabama's been top 10 in the RPI for what feels like the entirety of the year, but it feels like portions of the season, like they had their identity, then other portions they didn't. It feels like they've gained it again. They've also had an easier path. Like, let's just be frank.
Yeah.
They played 1-2 seed one time. They played a 3 seed twice in their regional, and then they played a 4 seed in the supers. So, like, that's lovely. And that's a lovely path to Omaha. So I think this will be a little bit of a wake up for them, but I don't know. We'll see.
Oklahoma had to beat 1 seeds 4 times. Like that's tough draw.
They came out of the losers bracket in Atlanta. Like who the hell saw that?
A place
coming?
Where they lost.
I did.
Georgia Tech lost 1 game in ACC play at home this year. That's how good they were at home, and then Oklahoma beat them twice. Jared, we get Tyler Fay versus Cord Rager on Saturday at 1:00. Like it almost feels like this should be the night game, but we'll talk about the night game next. But unbelievable pitching matchup. I can't wait for this one.
Yeah, I mean, you got 4 SEC teams, and you have Texas versus Georgia. Like that's going to be your night game, and not unfortunately, but I mean, those are the top 2 teams that we kind of talked about in the tournament. It's kind of unfortunate they're on opposite sides because that's the teams I would love to see try to make a run for a championship and play each other in a championship. But no, I think this is Oklahoma, Alabama is going to be exciting. Like you said, Tyler Fay versus sorry, just lost my brain there for a second. Cord Rager. I think it's going to be an electric matchup. My questions on Alabama, like we kind of talked about after Tyler Fay, is like Miles Upchurch. He's a freshman, so he's been dominant all year in the SEC, but the bright lights are going to be very bright. Pitching the regional, but not the super regional because they didn't need him. They didn't go 3 games against St. John's, but how is he going to handle that situation? So I think that's going to be a big factor for Bama. Offense too for Alabama, right? Like what offense is going to show up? Or is it going to be the guys who mash? Is Justin LeBron going to be the non-SEC Justin LeBron, or is it going to be the SEC Justin LeBron? I think those are just kind of the questions that you're going to kind of run into for Bama. Then on Oklahoma side, we talked about how terrible the offense was all year, and it's like they've just been mashing. They mashed against Kansas. They mashed in the regional. Like they have been absolutely dominant. Like Deshaun Harris has been great. Dalton LaChance has been great. Camden Johnson. Taki's been on an absolute heater. That was but Spencer just said, he's been insane. And we talk about hottest hitters. You had the kid from Troy, Jay Boroff, but Taki's been just up there as well. So and Jackson Willits, that's another guy. He's been really good for them down the stretch here. So I think I overlooked this Oklahoma team. I think we'll all probably admit that we overlooked this Oklahoma team during the season, but I wouldn't be shocked if they win game 1. And especially like Jason said, they turned their rotation and changed it around. Cord has been dominant. But I think Tyler Fay is going to give him a chance. We saw him throw perfect game, no hitter during the regular season. Like he's been an ace for this team. Yeah,
against
really.
I didn't overlook Oklahoma. I straight wrote them off. It wasn't even like I forgot. You have your reject admit pile. I shoved them over so
yeah. Well, it's like watching them in the tournament, the early season tournaments, I was like, oh, this Oklahoma team is going to be good. Like LJ looked fantastic. Like they looked really good early on. I think we boosted them in our rankings.
And then it was so good in Arlington.
Yeah.
So good.
And then it was just a complete downfall. And then they turned it around again. So, I mean, this is going to be exciting.
Hot.
Yep.
Hot gets to Omaha. We've talked about it all the time.
Yeah.
Hot gets there. Skip Johnson, tremendous coach, has already been there before. Man, just a run that they have been on. I'm riding Alabama still. I've ridden them all season. I've said that this is a very good baseball team. I've been high on Alabama from the start of the season. I think that Rob Vaughn has a tremendously talented team there. Will, this is a tough matchup and a really fun one too.
Yeah, this one is sneaky good. I don't know if people are going to be talking about this one as much. And again, me and Jason have been on kind of the right Oklahoma off train all season. I know I wasn't particularly nice to them in the regular season. I really liked them in this game. Like we talked about it when the bracket came out, that bunch of the Tallahassee regional and the Tuscaloosa regional, where you're like, one of these 8 teams is going to be in Omaha. And like, you didn't really have to get through all that much to get there. And it's Alabama, right? I think we predicted it would either be Alabama or Florida State. You're kind of going to see one of them through. They've quite frankly had a little bit of a cakewalk to get there. Oklahoma and Troy have the one thing in common that I think has to scare you coming into this thing. They're the hottest teams in the country. Like, I think by far, like these two teams are red hot coming into this thing. I would be not excited to see either one of these teams. I think they're both going to put up really, really good games. I think Oklahoma's going to walk away with a win here. I really do. I think the way that offense has performed at Lawrence in Atlanta, and I know, Faye is probably going to be one of the better arms that they've seen to this point in the postseason. Less anybody, maybe someone from Tech, but like Faye has been really good this year. So he might be the best arm that they've seen in the postseason. This offense, like top to bottom right now, is just mashing. Vibes are high in the clubhouse. There's a weird thing with 18 to 22-year-olds when you get on a heater like this, like they just literally become superheroes. Like nothing can stop them. And I kind of think Oklahoma has that vibe in the clubhouse right now. It's not a team I'd want to see.
Will's gonna get ripped to shreds by Southern Miss fans again on X for being Troy Glazer. So
yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
Where's
talk
Southern
about
Miss at? When are we going to talk about that game?
Good question. I don't know.
Okay, next
question, please. There's no reason to hype up this next game. Texas and Georgia, right? Like Texas and Georgia is a ridiculous thing to be playing in the very first round. Like you're saying, hey, these two have to meet each other on Saturday night. We saw this last year with LSU, Arkansas. We're getting the exact same matchup, 3 and 6. It's literally the exact same thing all over again. We're getting it again in Omaha this year. Will, unbelievable matchup. Two powerhouse teams. This is strength on strength. Texas pitching, Vlantis versus a ridiculous lineup of Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's power on both sides of the ball. Like Georgia, power arms, guys that throw hard. Joey Volchko, live fastball, and then you have Dylan Vlantis, like the best pitcher in the 2027 class. Like less maybe Dax Whitney. I mean, he's got a 2.03 ERA this season. And that's coming off of his freshman year where he was the closer with like a 1.93. So basically doubled his innings and kept the same ERA. Like the kid is unbelievable. You're going to see him against dare I say, the best lineup in the country. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
like,
you don't have to dare.
Yeah, no. There's no daring needed.
Someone on Instagram commented. I posted all the team stats for the 8 teams remaining, and someone was like, "Georgia doesn't have 174 home runs," and I was like, "Is that a typo?" And I went and double checked. I was like, "No, I'm right. Like, they have 174 home runs coming into this thing."
So insane.
This lineup is unbelievable. Above a 1. OPS as a team. I believe 7 of their 8 qualified hitters have above a 1. And the only one that doesn't has like a 950. So like this team just absolutely mashes. They played one of the most fun super regionals I've ever watched. Like, I mean, it's genuinely a shame that we got Georgia, Mississippi State in the supers and then Georgia, Texas in round 1 of Omaha, because like all of those teams should be in this thing. I know like I'm all for having teams in different conferences. Like I love having representation. I love that we have 8 new teams this year that we didn't have last year. Like I think the best 2 teams in the country this year are Georgia and Texas. I really do. These 2 teams facing off in round 1 is a little bit of a bummer because I would love to see them play 3, kind of the same way that we got Mississippi State in a super regional with Georgia. Yeah, it was a shame that both those 3. Yeah, it's a shame both those teams can't be in, but man, this game is going to be unbelievable. I mean, Volantis versus that Georgia lineup, Volchko. You'll probably see some degree of either Matt Scott or Aoki in relief off of those guys, and it's, I mean, I know we talk about like you can't rely on the long ball and go to Omaha. Like this Georgia team's going to hit bombs. They just are. Like there's no doubt that the guys in that lineup are going to leave the yard. And I know there's a lot of hate on the Foley field. You know, I get you can get some cheap ones to right field. It's 370 to the power alley and left. Now I agree. Like the ball does fly there, but it's not cheap to get it 380 even with a little bit of wind help. Like those guys are hitting nukes at that place. Like they're not cheap ones. Mike O'Shaughnessy hit a ball that looked like it was 125 miles an hour off the bat last weekend. Like these guys
wasn't even supposed to be in the starting lineup.
No,
yeah,
yeah,
start.
that's
what they have on the bench.
Had to be in the lineup because of Trey Phelps being suspended, and he ends up having the biggest game of anybody this weekend. And then you have Daniel Jackson. Like this lineup just goes on and on. There's no breathing room for Volantis here, and I'm so excited. Like this game, this singular game, honestly might be the singular best game we see all postseason. I'm so excited. I really don't think it's going to disappoint in terms of action, and we can't sleep on the Texas lineup. Like this Texas lineup has north of a 900 OPS as a team. Aiden Robbins has been as advertised since arriving to Austin. Like this, you have Anthony Pack Jr. who's freshman of the year. I know some publications did not agree that he is, but I genuinely think he is. I think there's very few freshmen that have had an impact on his team like that kid has had this season. And I mean, Texas's lineup is just as scary. So if you're Georgia, it's like, sure, you beat Mississippi State in the slugfest. Like, can you beat Texas in the pitcher, like in a little bit of a pitcher's duel, or can you mash against those pitchers? So I'm really excited for this one. This is the matchup for me. I've got it circled in bright red, highlighted, all that stuff.
Oh, bright red. Does that mean you're going Georgia? Yeah. Sorry, Jason.
I didn't even, honestly, that wasn't intentional. I am taking Georgia here. I think Georgia's the best team in the country. Give me the dogs here.
Jason, this is a game where, we have our press box seats, but this might be one where I'm down on the concourse level and watching this one. I don't think I'm
there's going to be no seats. There's going to be no
seats. I'm going to be standing
behind that first row, like where the metal tables are. That's where I stand, right behind there. So that's where I'll be standing for this game.
I've got a lot on this one, so I'm just going to try to make it fast and furious. First off, Daniel Jackson will get the 30 and 30. So he's 4 stolen bases away. I'm telling you, they know that. They're going to send his ass at least 4 times. He's going to get it. It's going to go crazy.
He didn't run it all in the Super, did he?
Do we need to change our player of the year vote? That's my question. We put Landon Harrison.
You have to. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, if a guy gets 30, like, you have to. But no, Harrison, he had a 1,500 OPS or whatever. Like, everybody deserves it. Big participation. Yeah. So, whatever. Second, Will said the hottest team in the country is Troy. Has he not been watching this Georgia team? Jesus Cristo. They are hitting the ball like it is a beach ball, and they are just launching that shit. Yes, I get it. Georgia is a bounce house. Like, I get it. All those home runs are going out in any stadium. I was talking to someone. He's like, these aren't going to go out in Omaha. I'm like, that ball went 450 to dead center. Like how big do you think it is? Like, no, that ball's going out.
5-10 home runs. No, that's not getting out.
This ain't the polo grounds. That ball's out of here.
No, like that ball's gone. Like, so the only thing that I think, this is insane to say, I'm actually leaning Texas in this game is because of Volantis.
Yeah,
this feels carbon freaking copy to me of Arkansas LSU last year. Arkansas was a 3 seed, LSU was a 6 seed. Arkansas had a very strongly talented SEC team. What did Monty say? Those ones are good because, exactly. Yeah. The Creighton team is out there with like these giant magnets. Like, no. So last year, Arkansas was 3 seed, LSU was the 6. Tennessee was the 14. So Arkansas had to play Tennessee, like almost exact carbon copy of what happened with Miss State and Georgia. Like this super talented, super regional game, like crazy atmosphere. Arkansas 1-2, and then they get to Omaha and they face a freaking ace game 1, and it's a great game. They lose. I feel like this is very similar. Now, Georgia has better hitters, don't get me wrong, but they are going up against a top 5 pitcher. And while I'm an advocate of you need to mash in order to win, if you've got a pitcher that can go out there and stand on his head for 7 innings, and then you've got a closer in the back end who is also like freshman pitcher of the year for some of the prognostications, like it's going to be really hard to beat you. So I could see a 5-3 type score where Texas could win this one. Now, I still love everything about Georgia, and I think their lineup is crazy deep. But I think when you have a pitcher that can go out there and stand on his head, I lean a little bit towards that.
I love it. I think that these are 2 tremendous teams. I'm very, very excited for these guys. Jared, it's the matchup we want, and we get to see it on Saturday night.
Yeah, and I think to build off of kind of Jason's point here too, I don't think we've talked enough about how good the Texas offense has been, right? You have Aiden Robbins, Carson Tinney, Anthony Pack Jr. We've talked about freshman of the year, Adrian Rodriguez, Timo Bissetta. Like this team has been very good offensively all year long. And I don't love the Georgia pitching side. I think we've talked about it before. They have the depth, but they don't have a true ace like Dylan Volantis. You've got Caden Aoki and you have Joey Volchko, who both have over 4 ERAs in this team. But again, like if they go deep, this is a team like Georgia. Like if that's a team, they lose to Texas and go to the losers bracket, I think they can make a run because they have the depth of pitching. And like so, when they get to like guy 4 or 5, they've got guy 4 or 5 better than whoever they're playing. But I think they do have the struggle in terms of having an ace on their team, and that's where like Volantis comes in, and then the Texas offense. I don't think that they're anything to be messed with, and so I really see Texas coming out of this one.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I just think it's just all tremendous players on both sides of this one. I think whoever wins this one has the best opportunity to go through and get to the championship. So,
Monty hates Georgia so much.
I'm excited for this one. I can't wait. I literally can't wait for this. For those who don't know,
Georgia has 6
also
elite
in Omaha.
Oh. Is Vigue, is he going to be okay? I know he got hit with a liner in the Mississippi State game, right?
They haven't said anything, but I think he's still going to. Yeah, they didn't say anything. At this point, almost saying nothing is probably better. It's better than hearing something. So, be excited to see if he throws. I mean, he'll throw at some point, but if not, they still have 5 other arms that could have been starters anywhere else.
Georgia has 7 or 8 arms that can get them 4 innings. Like I agree with Jared that they don't have one guy that can get them 8. Yeah, like, they don't have a Volantis. Like they just don't. But they have 8 guys who can get them 4 to 5. And so the nice thing about Omaha is, yes, you do have to go through the losers bracket, but sometimes there are rain delays. Sometimes you have like a day off between your game. Like you can have a little bit of buffer to where you're kind of sticking with your 6 to 7 guys. You don't even have to go to like the back end of your bullpen, even out of the losers bracket. I always reference the 2018 team for Oregon State. There were so many rainouts that year that they were able to throw like 150 pitches or whatever in that first grouping. Yep. Okay. West City's good. Perfect. Yeah. So ultimately, like they've got more than enough pitching depth, in my opinion.
I love both these teams. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these guys play this game, and I just can't wait to be there and be a part of this one. So the crowd, if you guys see us in the stands, please feel free to say hi. We'll be walking around. We're going to do tons of crowd work with you guys. Can't wait to be there. Final thoughts, guys, as we head into Omaha and getting ready for our last 10 days of the season here for us. Jared, I'll let you start.
Should we do some conference championship predictions and national championship predictions?
Conference championship?
What do you mean by conference?
The championship predictions, the matchup.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
We feel like superlatives, like maybe some like what's not expected, or like who's the X-factor, just random shit.
Random shit.
All right,
just random shit. That's what we're gonna go through now.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Jared, who do you have winning each side, and who do you have meeting in the championship and winning this thing?
I got Texas versus North Carolina, and I'm taking North Carolina to win it all.
Okay, all right, Jason.
Oh shit. So I'm gonna say the winner of the Georgia Texas. So I think I have to stick to. I think I'll agree in Texas. I don't want to be like Jared, so I'm gonna say Texas, Ole Miss. I'm gonna say Texas wins it all.
Okay, all right. Will.
Give me. I agree. I think it's whoever wins that Georgia-Texas game. But give me Georgia. Give me the Mountaineers, and give me Georgia to win it all over West Virginia.
I am Georgia and Mountaineers as well, and I am taking the Mountaineers to win this national championship.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I think that they play well in this ballpark. I think they're a fun team. I think that they got things going. Picture this, me singing Country Road and crying my eyes out. Can't wait. It's going to be a blast there.
Oh,
Who's your X factor here, Jason, in the whole
we're going
tournament?
streaking on the field if the Mountaineers win it. Yeah. Oni will be there. He'll give me a pass. We'll be good.
Spencer, longtime listener, taking UNC over Georgia. I like that pick also. I think that it's going to come
Yeah.
down to UNC versus West Virginia on that side, and whoever wins that game is in a real good spot in that 1-0 game.
Don't you overlook Ole Miss, young sir.
I love Ole Miss. I've been on Ole Miss for a lot of this season. You know that.
I'm just going to say, what are they, 11-3 on Fridays
They're
with,
so
with
good on
Elliott?
Friday.
Okay. What was the next question?
Who's your X
X-factor.
factor to make the biggest difference here?
Oh, then I got to stick with Ole Miss. I got to go with Tristan Bissetta. Okay, so I'm going to see one of these goon balls just get launched into like where the kids are trying to get Dippin' Dots, like on the concourse level. Like I just can envision it right now. Like I think he's going to hit a couple of these just yaks that go so far that the other team is going to be like, okay, the losers bracket seems a little bit better than it is right now. So for me, I really like this Ole Miss team. I think they've got the pitching depth. I think they have 3 elite starting pitching arms. I feel like my X factor has to be a hitter then, because they do have to score runs. They can't win 0-0. So I'm gonna say Mr. Bissetta.
Okay. I like that one. I like that one a lot there. Jared, who's your X factor?
Going Caden Glauber out of North Carolina. So if North Carolina is going to win this thing, I think they
So
need the
good.
Caden.
It was so good.
Yeah, he's been dominant all year long. 10-0, 2.20 ERA, 99 Ks in 81 2/3 innings. Got a rotation start in the Super Regional, was absolutely dominant. 7 innings, 11 strikeouts. Like I think if North Carolina is going to make that run, they're going to have DeCaro, Lynch, and then Glauber's just going to be absolutely incredible for them. And I think he's going to be the X factor for this team.
I like that. I like that. Will, X factor.
Man, well, I guess it's got to be from the national champion, right? Is that how we're?
That's how I went with it.
I mean,
but
it's from your choice. It could be a lot of different things.
I picked Texas and I picked an Ole Miss guy. So
Okay.
I just picked something fun.
I'll stick with the Dogs then. I think it's Trey Phelps.
Ooh.
I think everyone's gonna be talking about Daniel Jackson. Everyone's gonna be looking at the pitching. I think it's Trey Phelps, man. I think he's gonna have just a monster tournament in this thing and help the Dogs get to it all.
I like that.
Just no chirping, young son.
We're not going down that rabbit hole.
Hey, as we've seen, people get thrown out. People get
Yeah.
thrown out in Omaha.
I am going to go with Maxiel because I think that he's going to get the ball in the 1-0 game. I think he's going to have to be elite in that game versus whether it's Ole Miss or UNC. I think both those teams could get through. And then he's going to get the ball in the championship game after West Virginia wins game 1 against Georgia. He's going to get the ball in that second game, and he's going to have to be elite as well, that one too. So I'm going Maxiel. I think that he's got to be really, really good.
Just
Final
wanted to
thoughts
point
here.
out
Oh, yeah.
Oklahoma branch. So you have the 2 Branch brothers. They were talking about that. If anyone was still watching that regional game when it was like 12-1, they were talking about how the branch, because the youngest branch is actually still in high school, and he was just competing in their state championship. So basically, they were talking about their crazy travel schedule, and they're like, well, at least they can be in the same stadium. So I did want to highlight this good comment.
I like that. Final thoughts here, fellas. Jason, I'll let you start.
I think this will be a great Omaha. I think it's a little unique, and then I think if I were to say the 2 favorites from each side, in my opinion, they're going to be playing each other both game 1. Like it's not that I don't think West Virginia is better or worse than Ole Miss, but I think Ole Miss is maybe tailored a little bit better to win like an Omaha than West Virginia is, and so I think you're going to see a really impactful game 1 on both sides. And I think whoever comes out of those 2 games is going to be your betting favorite moving forward for both sides.
I like that. I can see that. I can see that happening a lot there. Jared, final thoughts, buddy.
Yeah, I'm excited for the College World Series. I'm sad I won't be in Omaha, but you guys are going to crush it, and it's going to be a great time. I'm excited to see all the content you all are going to do.
I'm excited to create a lot of content with all the fans and everybody involved down there. Love it. Omaha is my favorite. Can't wait for Media Day. Also on Thursday, it's going to be insane. Will, final thoughts, buddy.
I'm happy that Monty got to tune in for my Georgia propaganda. So shout out to Monty for jumping in to listen to me talk about the dogs all night. But this is going to be such a fun field, man. I feel like a lot of people, myself included, like are kind of putting the eggs in the Georgia slot. Yes, I will do that, Monty. Monty wrote a fantastic piece on North Carolina this morning. Go check that out.
It is tremendous.
How's Georgia Tech doing? Hey, Monty, where's Georgia Tech? Are they in the field? Okay, never mind.
I feel like a lot of people are going to be putting the eggs in the Texas-Georgia basket. There's a lot, like, I think this thing's a lot deeper than what people maybe are seeing on the surface to this. So I'm really excited for this field of 8. Like, this is going to be super fun.
I think it's a great field. I think that the fact is, over the last 3 seasons, 23 teams are coming through here. The only team to come in twice is going to be North Carolina. 23 teams are coming through Omaha to play in this thing. It makes this game great. We get different fan bases. We get different folks down there. I cannot wait. I think it's going to be tremendous. Folks, join us down there. We're going to do a live show for you guys also on Saturday. We're going to do a couple live shows throughout the week. We're going to see lots of reels and lots of information from us. We're going to do nightly recaps in the dugout. Cannot wait to talk to you guys more about college baseball. For all of us, it's the College Baseball Show, 6'4 Analytics, and from Just Baseball. See you guys soon in Omaha.